After years of being loyal to the iPhone, I used the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL for a couple of days, and I'm not gonna lie, this phone made me remember why I love Android so much, but it also reminded me why people leave Android in the first place. Let me take it back a little bit. I'm not new to Android. My first serious phone was the LG V20. Back when phones felt like tools. You could do anything, you could customize anything. Then I went to Samsung Galaxy S8. That phone felt really premium. That's when I started caring about displays and designs of phones. Then I had the Google Pixel 4a, and honestly that phone is what made me respect Google. Funny thing is, I still have that phone right here with me today. It wasn't trying to do too much, impress me with numbers. It was just trying to be smart. And then I moved to the iPhone. And we all know iPhone is a no stress phone. It just works, it's consistent. Or would I say I was following the trend? But to be honest, the Pixel always felt like that phone that's trying to understand you deeply. So when the Pixel 10 Pro XL came out, I didn't just buy it to join the fan base. I bought it to answer one question: can the Pixel bring me back without me feeling like I downgraded? In this video, we're going to be talking about why the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL pulled me back towards Android after years on the iPhone. We're going to have a deep, easy to understand breakdown of the phone's display, design, battery performance, especially the cameras, and give you my honest verdict on who this phone actually is for, who should skip it, and whether it is truly worth it. Pixel 10 Pro XL is Google basically saying, okay, you want a big screen, you want big battery, you want bigger and top quality cameras, you want AI built in them. Yeah, it runs the Tensor G5 with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and Google promises you 7 years of updates. So in theory, this phone can last for a very long time. You know what? Forget that theory. Let's start from the beginning like you're buying this phone today. So let me show you what you get when you order the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. Inside the box, you get the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL, the 1 meter USB-C to C cable, and a SIM tool. No charger in the box, and I know everybody does this, but yeah, it's still annoying. That's fine because charging is actually one of Pixel's strong points. Don't worry, I'll show you later what I'm talking about. First thing is, this is not a small phone. It's actually 232 grams, and you feel that once you put your hands on this phone. The reason why I'm saying this is because some people buy big phones thinking that it's only a bigger screen, but low-key, it changes how you use your phone. See, let me not lie, unless your hands are big like those of the great Kali, one hand typing is a lot harder, and it's definitely gonna distort your young rich outfit. Like when you put your phone and the phone is showing off, yeah, it's gonna do that. But for things like watching YouTube, editing videos, this is where the XL starts making sense. So if you're the type that uses your phone like a mini computer, you definitely love the size, and if you hate heavy phones, you will hate this phone, and it's that simple. Right now, let me tell you what actually impressed me. Yeah, you know I'm talking about the display of this phone. It's a 6.8-inch actual LTPO OLED 1:120 Hz with up to 3300 nit pits of brightness, and it's protected by the Gorilla Glass Victus 2. Damn, that's too much grammar, I know, but here's what that means in real life. When you're outside and the sun is being disrespectful, the screen doesn't turn into a glass. You know what I'm talking about, man. This is a big phone, like you should be able to do that, but you can actually see what you're doing, and 120 Hz is one of those things where you don't need it until you go back to a phone that doesn't have it. Then you'll be like, why is this phone drawing like okra? Yeah, if you're filming content, you're checking focus, exposure, playbacks, this screen helps you trust what you're seeing. The performance of this phone is powered by the Tensor G5 and the 16 gigabytes of RAM embedded in it. I'm not here to do benchmark Olympics, but what I care about is, does this phone feel fast when I'm living my life? You know, throughout my week, it's been good, it's been smooth. I haven't gotten any drama opening the camera, there's no random freezing, no weird lag, and that's what people actually want. Let me know that. Okay, the battery is where the XL earns the XL name. It typically has 5200 mAh battery. I mean, Google rates it at 24 plus hours and up to 100 hours with extreme battery saver. Here's the real thing. I hate battery claims because everyone's life is different. But what I can tell is how it changes your mindset. With smaller phones, you're always doing mental math, like if I use maps, if I hotspot somebody by 6 p.m. I'll already be dead. I experienced that in a day in the live video when I was using the iPhone. Yeah, you can check out that video right up here. Talking about wire charging, Google says up to 70% in about 30 minutes with 45 watt USB-C PPS charger or higher. And wireless charging, Pixel Snap is QI2 certified and up to 25 watts on the Pixel. If you didn't know, the Google Pixel 10 Pro series now has a Pixel Snap, which is called MagSafe on the iPhone devices. This is a huge upgrade for years after we have seriously asked Google to really put this, and that's one thing I love Google and these Android guys, because they kind of listen. We're waiting for Samsung to do that, but I mean, kudos to Google for listening to us and hearing us out. The battery, of course, I'll be doing a test in a day in a live video, so if you're not subscribed, this is an opportunity to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification for that video. It's going to be coming up shortly. So let's talk about the camera setup. The camera setup on this phone is no joke. It has triple rear cameras, 50 megapixel wide, 48 megapixel ultra wide with autofocus for macro, and 48 megapixel 5x telephoto. As if that's not okay, it also supports pro zoom up to 100x, but specs don't matter if the shots don't look nice. So of course I tested them like a normal person. 0.5, let's go to 1x, 2, 5, and let's go again. Damn man, 18x, and that's 20x. Jesus Christ, I cannot see this street with my bare eyes. Right? I cannot see that street with my bare eyes. Look at what this technology has done to us. Most phones are good at 1x, but that's not impressive anymore. The question is, when you zoom in, does it turn into a watercolor painting of a baby in daycare? you know what I'm talking about. The Pixel 10 Pro XL, the 5x lens is a hero, because 5x is a sweet spot. Concerts, street shots, portraits from a distance, travel shots, you know the stuff, you know what I'm talking about. And when you push to the 10x and beyond, it's not perfect, but it stays usable longer than I expected. Again, I'm sure this will shine perfectly in the day in life. For the front camera, it's a 48 megapixel autofocus and it's ultra wide. So if you vlog, you do gym clips, you do those group shots, it's actually very practical. Talking about video, you can do 8K at 24-30 frames per second powered by Video Boost, and 4K up to 60 frames per second. And you get features like 10-bit HDR stabilization modes and auto magnetic eraser. Of course, I'm going to be testing all of this out in my day in the live video. But I'm not gonna lie, I've never shot on 8K video, and most people really don't need 8K. But what matters is, does this phone give you clean detail, clean stabilization, and usable audio? Alright, I'm just taking a jog right now. I'm trying to test the stabilization. Oh, you want to beat me? There's no way. I'll let you
running out of breath though.
No way.
Right in front of the gym.
You're gonna say that to me? Because I'll let you win?
Oh,
you're not gonna do that.
No?
You're not gonna do that.
Let's go again.
No, I'm tired.
Yeah,
I give up.
Yeah.
So this phone has Gemini built in and a bunch of Google AI features, but I'm gonna say this carefully. AI features are only valuable when you actually use them. For me, the biggest value isn't AI for the sake of AI, and it's when the phone helps you move faster with basic things like searching, translating, cleaning up photos, and getting through tasks. So one of the main things that scare people away from Android devices, of course, is the big boy Apple ecosystem. So I have some clips that I shot yesterday on the Google Pixel, and I want to transfer them to my MacBook. Look at how easy it is. I will just select the clips right now and then go to share. Right here I have quick share. I'll quick share this, and so there you go. You can see my iPhone and my MacBook, so I can send it to my MacBook and come over to my MacBook. All right, there you go. I'll just accept it and save it to downloads, and now I can comfortably use Google Pixel without caring so much about the ecosystem. Oh boy, this is definitely a game changer, and I said Google, kudos to you. So after using this phone for a full week, here is my honest breakdown. For the pros, the display is crazy bright and smooth. The battery makes you feel less stressful, and charging is legitimately strong for the itself. Cameras, especially the 5x, make travel shots fair. So for the cons, I just took out the Google Pixel from my pocket right now, and I noticed something that I honestly want to share. Something that I don't like about the phone. After using the phone for just over a week now, I can see scratches already on the phone. These scratches, I don't know if the camera is gonna do us justice to show you, but this scratch, I cannot clean it. I'm sorry to bring up the iPhone 17 Pro Max in this video, but I've been using the iPhone 17 Pro Max for a while now, and I do not have any scratches on my screen. If you know me, I love using my phones without cases, so I doubt if this phone is going to survive the 7 months without looking gibberish. I'm already scared. I feel like I need to put a phone case or a screen protector on this screen if I want to really keep this phone long term. So this is one thing that just happened to me. I just thought to say it in this video so that you are aware of what you're getting into. So protect it from your keys and whatever. There's no charger in the box. It looks like the norm now for all of the big gun with phones, but me personally, I haven't moved past it. I'm still always hoping that I'll open the box one day and find the charger in it. If you're deep into the Apple ecosystem, switching wouldn't be just about the phone, but it's gonna impact your habits, of course. So 1 week later, is the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL worth it? You know, I want to be honest here. I would say buy it if you want the full package. Big screen, big battery, fast charging options, and the camera system where zoom actually matters. But skip it if you hate big phones, or you're perfectly happy with what you have, or you don't care about display, 5x zooms, or the Pixel software. So that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, see you on the next one.